Hello and welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by your usual hosts, Ben Porter,
Hey.
Charlotte Porter,
hello,
and myself, Josh Hartley. All three of us have emerged from stasis now.
Feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. What's been going on in the world?
Apparently there's been a pandemic.
This
a global pandemic.
Corona.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of had a hiatus, and it was not entirely deliberate.
No, so we were streaming our D&D campaign. The laptop we were using to stream that all gave up the ghost. We didn't really have any contingency plan. I had to start my own business.
Oh yeah. This episode is brought to you by Ashenhold Art, and basically all future episodes will be
for all your painting commission needs. So I've started doing a commission painting of basically gaming pieces, but
largely no. You've got a commission for a non-GW.
Yeah.
Minis
coming up. Watch this space.
But it's mostly been 40k.
Yeah.
You've also done some of your own stuff though,
have.
The orc bust.
Yeah, so I'm planning on entering a couple of pieces into the Edbanger competition at the end of the month, and that's on the Evier Metal Facebook group. It's a really great group with some phenomenal painters on it. Fortunately, there's a separate masters category, and because I've not actually won a proper painting competition, I'm not in that.
Okay.
So I'm not having to go up against the Renaissance painters just yet. But even in the regular categories, there's some phenomenal stuff. Yeah. So I mean, if I win anything, I'll be elated.
Yeah. I mean, how has the process of starting a business during all of this gone?
Surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I mean, the commission painting thing has been a bit slower, obviously, because there's not really any tournaments going. I mean, there's a couple of small ones, but there's not really any grand tournaments or anything like that, which is, as a commission painter, that's really where you're making your money, right? Is people who want an army to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much about playing the game, but they don't want to be bogged down with the painting. But I've managed. I've got a couple of great clients.
Me being one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot be bothered painting.
And so that's kept me busy. So
it's also give you an opportunity to hone your craft. I'm just thinking.
Absolutely.
You've got the airbrush. That's one of the big purchases you've got.
I've learned more about painting in the past 2 or 3 months than I have in years of doing it.
Yeah.
And I dare say that I've had the biggest leap forward in my painting ability over the past few months.
And we're going to be looking at ways that we can share that knowledge and stuff. You're going to be looking at doing little sort of tutorial videos and things like that, aren't you?
And I'm also writing for FauxHammer.
That's right, you're writing for FauxHammer.
Yes, second plug. Second plug of the episode.
Yeah, so so far I've done 2 articles for FauxHammer. I have done a painting tutorial for Night Haunt, which is quite pertinent because you've got the Mortal Realms part work out just now, which basically gives you scenery, a bunch of Stormcast Eternals, and a bunch of Night Haunt.
Mm-hmm.
So on the FauxHammer website, we'll put links to these in the
links in the description below.
Yeah. So I've done a painting tutorial, classic ghost scheme, I've called it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a little bit different from the Games Workshop Black and Blue Night Haunt. And I've also done a review of the Warhammer 40,000 9th edition starter set, the Elite edition specifically.
This is the mother bear of the starter sets.
Yeah, it's like the mid-tier one.
Yeah. How was that? Because you guys had a couple of games of that as well. Yeah. With new 9th edition 40k, which we'll probably talk about in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the starter set is basically you playing 40k with water wings on, and massive goggles and a flotation device.
You need that though.
Yeah, because it's a vast and complicated game, so it doesn't chuck you right into the deep end. See how flawless this metaphor is? Just carrying on.
I'm bowled over.
Yeah, you look.
I'm trying so hard to come up with a pun, and it's just not happening. I'm getting really annoyed at myself
because you're so dazzled at this metaphor.
I know. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not full blown 40k, but it's introducing it by degrees, which is the big success of this starter set, I would say.
Yeah, cool. The models are gorgeous as well.
Yeah.
As we now come to expect from Gina. If I was saying to you, like, it was actually about the part work, but just the starter kits nowadays are just so. I remember getting the 3rd Ed Warhammer Fantasy with like the Monopose Lizardmen sculpts and Bretonian Knights.
And they were all identical, they were all like clones.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Necrons and the Space Marine, the infantry, getting them, each of them are unique. So it's a phenomenal set.
Yeah.
I think the Necrons in particular have like a ton of character to them now, like compared to their previous sculpts.
They're all kind of battered as well.
Yeah. Which they should be.
Because one of their things, like as an army, is they can resurrect their warriors.
Do they still call it reanimation protocols?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's sci-fi, right? It's not resurrection. It's reanimation.
Reanimation protocol.
Yes.
Yeah. It's resurrecting.
So link in the description for that. So we've not been idle. We've also been really busy with house stuff.
Yeah. Trying to sell the house.
So,
and being parents.
Yeah, and having a baby.
I believe that. I make that joke every single time. It does. I know it takes a lot of time.
So in summary,
I'm back at work now as well. I actually started back work.
That's right.
The week of lockdown, so it's just been.
So we did not mean to go into hiatus.
It just happened.
Sorry about that.
We're back.
Time just kind of ran away from us.
Yeah, it's good to be back though. It's nice. I feel ready to be back.
But the fact that manufacturing's back now, it feels like we've actually got stuff to talk about, and the fact that we can actually game in person, albeit in a limited way.
Because Josh is in our bubble just before anybody gets.
Yep.
Yeah.
We could have been doing this over the internet, to be fair, but
true.
I am in their bubble, so yeah, I can play all the 40k that I want over here.
So trying to think, the last game that we all played together as a group
was back in March.
And it was Lifeform.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome.
It was an awesome game, and we'll probably revisit that at some point so that we can talk about it in a more fleshed out way. It's also been a long time since
we should play it again. I think now that things are a bit more.
And I think I need to play as a crew member instead of a Lifeform. Yeah. Now that I've had a go at that.
I'll say this right. So for those who haven't come across it, it's a All or Nothing Productions game.
Yep. Great company.
Yep. It's a one versus many game.
Yeah.
You are the crew of a ship which has a life form on board, and a horrible life form that's trying to murder everyone, and you as the crew are trying to get to the escape shuttle so that you can actually leave and survive.
Yeah.
It is very hard as a crew member.
Yes.
But not in a bad way. Like I sometimes, like, people talk a lot about balance in games, right?
Yeah.
I quite like unbalanced games if I know that that's what I'm getting into.
If you know it's going to be.
If I'm signing up for a difficult, like a difficult game, but for like narrative reasons, it's difficult. I'm gonna still enjoy that experience.
And also, let's be honest, games that are easily solved they quickly get boring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I might take a bit of flack for this, but it's a fundamental problem with games like poker and chess, right? It's like they've been solved.
Ooh, I think you might get a bit of flack for that.
Yeah. Well, I've said it.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this before we came on the air, and we were saying that I'd seen an article which posed a really interesting idea, and it was talking in relation to like lifestyle games, like living games, like Warhammer, Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you as a designer, it's not in your interest to create a perfectly balanced game.
Yeah, and it for a number of reasons. One, it makes it more interesting for the players. Some players might choose a faction or a deck because it's narrative, or they want a bit of a challenge, or the other reason is you want the super competitive players to be constantly chasing that dragon of the best deck, the best army.
And also you want to change gears every so often as well.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It gets boring if one particular faction is always the top dog, right?
Yeah. I mean, like the new edition of 40k is a good example of this, right? Like the rules have been changed so that close combat is
actually viable.
Yeah, it's
now.
it's like a key component of the game now. And the the trailer that they did where they had like the Blade Guard veteran and the Sister of Battle, it was very like even before they saw the rules, I was like, they're definitely pushing close combat.
Yeah,
and that's like there's no doubt about it. But that's quite different from the way that game's been played up till now.
Yeah, I mean, previously it was very much like infantry blocks shooting each other, from what I understand. I never really played 8th. 9th, the release of 9th has really got me buzzing for 40k now. So I'm gathering my Death Guard army. I've got my first game lined up on Sunday against our man Tom Mannering.
Good.
I believe he's bringing Gene Stealer cultists. We'll see how that goes. I will report back.
You're looking a bit smug as you say that.
I'm quite confident. I'm quite confident my Death Guard will be able to weather the storm. I mean, they're tough. Like they're just hard to kill.
That's true.
So
you're still not convinced about the shiny new edition, are you?
Well, no, I really enjoyed playing it.
The starter set,
but playing it sort of confirmed my feelings around it already. Is that I do find it an intimidating game.
Yeah.
And as much it was a starter set,
information overload.
Even like going through it, every time I had to double check with you that I was doing the right thing, and it's maybe more for reasons, personal reasons. I lack confidence in being able to trust my own ability to do it.
Was it arithmetic in particular? You kind of take for granted when you've been doing it for a while how much arithmetic.
Yeah,
it's involved.
I'm not very good with arithmetic anyway. I always have to count out blocks, and I know that I always get quite self-conscious about it. But I do feel that it can be quite an isolating game, I would say. I really enjoyed playing through the beginner
certainly
sets.
A steep learning curve.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the way it taught you. We
very
played
well
the first
structured.
5. Was it the first 5 campaigns?
And do you know what was funny? Because like on FauxHammer, myself, Trevor, and Rob, we were each given one of the 3 different starter sets to review.
Okay.
And there's things that like one of us said was great that the other said was terrible.
Right.
Like for me, like the big thing that I was really impressed with was the elite manual, and the fact that you would have like building instructions.
Sure.
And then immediately after that, here's a scenario to use that thing you just built.
That's really cool. I like that.
So you're not having to build everything right away.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the elite manual certainly it tells you build the Necrons and build the Space Marine intercessors. So you're just playing the rank and file stuff.
Yeah.
But you actually build the Space Marines first, and that's worth noting because they're a lot easier to build than the Necrons were.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now on your shelf. They look fiddly.
They're kind of spindly. They still go together well.
Yeah.
But I broke at least one of them trying to build them. But so I liked that. But Rob, in his review of the command manual, said that he found it really annoying that the instructions were in the manual.
But is that because he's an experienced player?
That's what I say. What? Who is that game targeted at? Who is its audience?
Yeah, I don't know if he maybe considered that. Maybe he just personally found that annoying. But for me personally, I having looked at box sets for a variety of different system over the years, it's a faff having lots of bits of paper
Yeah.
about. So it is quite nice. Like, this is your one-stop shop. This will take you through everything, and you don't need to do that thing, like a lot of the games do, where it's like, read this first, and you read one book, and then you pick out the one underneath. And you go, oh crap! I was supposed to read this first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they've been well put together. The thing that really annoyed me about it was the fact that you're supposed to use the box as a bit of terrain in the game.
It looks rubbish. Sorry.
You thought that was a bit of a cop out, didn't you?
Well, I think, like, for all the effort that they went to producing that, surely they could have just included a sheet of, like, pop out barricades.
Mm-hmm.
Just to illustrate how, like, cover and block and line of sight worked. I don't know why they did that. It's a lazy piece of design.
No, agreed. It does look pretty lame.
Yeah. So I actually took a whole star off for that. Because I thought that is harsh. So bad.
Harsh.
The other thing.
Well, I mean, that's not fair. Like, I mean, there were other aspects like.
Well, I was going to say the thing that I thought was quite an obvious omission was the lack of wound counters.
That's true. So there was the box, the lack of wound counters. Necron's a bit on the fiddly side.
Okay.
But other than that, so I didn't feel that it was quite at a 5-star set.
Okay.
It fell short in a couple of.
So, Charlotte, you said it's maybe confirmed that it's not the game for you.
Yeah, but I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed playing the beginner sessions. I think that would be maybe all I would be comfortable with. I think if it got more in depth, I would feel more.
Would you feel more confident playing something like Kill Team?
Well.
We played quite a bit of Warcry.
Yeah, I really enjoy Warcry. I just find that's such it just seems a whole lot more intuitive in relation to how you play
Kill Team's like a touch more complicated than Warcry, I would say, but only like a smidge. Yeah.
But it uses the same stat line as 40k, and I feel
the stat line, like I would feel in that moment, I'd be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, and then I would look at the sheet and I'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore, because just the line of numbers just throws me, and I know what everything is, but in that moment I'm just like, what's the W?
I feel like
what's the BS?
I feel like there are a few numbers.
Is it a lot of BS?
A lot of BS. All BS.
I do feel like there are a lot of numbers and things on that 40k stat line that are a bit arbitrary now. Like, I was saying this to you, Josh, before we were recording, that I think this is one way that Age of Sigmar is better than 40k, because it just gives you, like, it'll say to hit, to wound, your bravery, which is like leadership, and your movement, and it's all it's visually it's easier to digest because of the way it's laid out as well.
I think for me, because I've been playing these games since I was a young man,
since I was a lad,
I take for granted like how potentially intimidating it is. And so for you, Ben, like did playing the starter missions whet your appetite at all for having a crack at 40k?
Well, I was already going to give it a shot. I will say that I don't think I quite share your enthusiasm for 40k. As a setting, one of the things that I've always struggled with is, to be honest, not that many of the factions really jump out at me aesthetically. And I also struggle with the fact that there's not really any salvation.
Yeah, it is grimdark. It is.
But that's exactly the reason that some people love it. I feel like that it can be a little bit Marmitey that way.
I mean, like my solution to that is just play a bad guy.
Yeah,
I think there's plenty of hope for those.
But like, so my feeling was that maybe I'm just getting a little bit older, a bit more mature about this stuff. I don't feel like I can go around telling everyone to play Age of Sigmar without compromising a little bit. So I've decided to take the leap, and originally I was going to do Space Wolves, but then I read up on them a bit, because I thought, oh, they look really cool, Vikings in space.
Yes.
But they're not.
No.
They're furries in space.
Which is awful.
It's horrendous. Like, like they've got like...
Sorry, furries.
Yeah, nothing against furries.
They've got like
Well, hold on.
Speak for yourself. they've got like canine teeth, and they eat raw meat, and they like sniff the air and stuff, and it's just like, oh, that is so
just ruined it for you.
Yeah, that's the worst. So I ditched them, and I thought salamanders look pretty cool.
They do. They love a bit of fire, which we know links in with your Age of Sigmar.
Bit of conceptual symmetry there.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that they actually enshrine the virtue of self-sacrifice and of protecting the weak. So it's the closest thing you actually have.
Actual bona fide good guys.
To a good guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be playing salamanders.
Yeah, and you've made a start on them, and they look awesome, even with just like the literal base coat on. So I can't wait until they're finished.
So I think the plan is, because I'm quite busy balancing out like working the baby and the house move, I'm just going to get like a kill team ready.
Yeah.
Initially, and I think we're maybe going to start a wee narrative campaign.
Yeah. Get a bit of Death Guard on salamander violence on the go.
So a few game of kill team, and I'll take it from there.
We might have a crack at the Crusade rules for 9th edition, because I think that's the most exciting addition for me. That whole new different play style where you can level up your guys.
Yeah, they've kind of taken a leaf out of Warcry's book here, right, with the Crusade thing, where the idea is that you can essentially embark on your own little crusade and play like with different people. Because traditionally a campaign was you all agree to play together as a group over this territory or whatever. But Warcry pioneered this system where it's you have a quest, and as long as your opponent agrees to playing the match, the conditions within the quest, it doesn't matter who you play against, which was an awesome thing, right? Because it meant that you could like develop your own little story as you went. And so the Crusade thing is that in 40k.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the Warcry campaign we were doing, because right enough we haven't had a chance.
That got derailed.
Yeah, we keep saying Warcry Wednesday. We haven't played it in at least 8 Wednesdays.
Oh, it's been a while.
But we did have I think we had maybe 4 sessions back to back, didn't we? We actually had a run of playing it.
I think we're close to like halfway through.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that.
You absolutely scalped me in the last game we played.
Was that one of the special ones?
No, I don't. Convergence battles.
Convergence battles.
No, so the way, I don't know if it works like this in Crusade, but in Warcry you've got your quest. You get a bit of background saying like what your quest, this is what your guys are looking for, whatever, and you can get specific command traits and treasures.
Oh, okay,
on this quest that and it says that that's yours, you've earned it forever, which is neat, right? Yeah. But you have certain points along the quest track where you have a convergence battle. And you cannot advance until you pass that.
Yeah.
So it means that you might have to take multiple runs at this, but it also means if you're playing in a group, this is where the competition element comes in. Because some people can like go through their convergence battles quicker than others.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So be interesting. I've not had a chance to read the Crusade rules yet, but
no, I don't think it works quite like that. But there's like an element of like leveling up your troops, and like your characters will get extra buffs and that sort of stuff. So we'll keep you guys posted out on the internet. I don't know. So like personally, I've been doing, despite the fact that we've had social distancing in place, I've been doing quite a lot of gaming over lockdown through various different means. We finished our Pathfinder campaign.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So we finished it, and we had to move everything over to Roll20.
Yeah.
So Roll20, for those of you who are not aware, is a website and a service that basically provides maps, tokens, dice rolling, character sheets, that sort of thing for RPGs. So we had to move everything onto that because we could no longer meet in person. That was a bit of a learning curve, and like any day of the week, I would much rather actually sit down with people face to face. But playing RPGs over the internet is better than not playing RPGs at all.
And to be fair, of all of the online tabletop gaming platforms, Roll20 is by far the best, the most refined.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tabletop Simulator at all. I don't know how much experience you guys have had with it.
I've used Tabletopia.
Yeah.
I hated it. Yeah. But you've used Tabletop Simulator.
I've used that a couple of times, yeah.
Okay.
I find it really clunky.
Yeah.
So we finished our Pathfinder campaign on Roll20, and we had a little epilogue there. Tom is going to be running us through a Star Wars Age of the Empire campaign.
This is like the Outer Rims, like skullduggery.
Yeah, I have created my character. I'm going to be playing... Ben's shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head?
Because I know the name, and it's like every time you say it, you absolutely end yourself laughing.
Let's hear it.
R3E7. It's Reed.
That's why I was shaking my head.
It's like, what?
But I'm playing an R-droid.
Okay.
So I'm terrible in combat, but I'm good with
like
tech and engineering. Yeah.
And are you getting in character? You're just going to beep?
So the way language works in the Star Wars universe is everyone can understand everyone. So apparently I've been told I don't need to beep. I can just talk.
Not beep.
Well, it's been suggested that I get a little soundboard for key moments, like the good R2 scream. That kind of thing.
That's my go-to when I'm feeling a bit down.
Just
R2D2 screaming compilation. Yeah, some belters. but this is the good thing about the Star Wars role-playing systems, right? Is that you can play a character that is absolutely woeful in combat, but you've still got a lot to do.
Yeah. Because we have been playing a bit of this already.
Yep.
In fact.
So you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because I was playing the engineer character. We played it. I was a Mon Calamari called Tendar. He's like a pre-gen character.
Yeah.
So is it the same one you were playing, or were you playing a different?
It's the same system, but we're so this is Dave is running this from
Age of Rebellion.
Yeah, from Tabletop Scotland.
So it's set during the original films.
Yeah, it's between episode 4 and episode 5.
Yeah.
So we're all Rebel Alliance dudes, and I'm playing a pilot. You're playing like an engineer, and we've got Simon and John Harper joining us as well,
and of course
David Wright
of AlbaCon.
AlbaCon, yeah.
AlbaCon fame and Tabletop Scotland fame. He's GMing. So we've been doing that on and off for like a few months.
Basically since lockdown started. We had a bit of a hiatus and then came back to it. And it's been great.
So that's more like guerrilla style.
Mm-hmm. It's you're members of the rebellion, so
you're basically espionage and scorched earth type stuff.
So while I think the setting and the feel of Edge of the Empire will be very different, mechanically it's the same.
Yeah, it uses the same system, but it's the setting and the context in which the characters are is pretty different.
Yeah.
We've actually, between us, we've been doing quite a lot of role playing.
Because I was just about to bring up the other one that we've been doing.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We were doing Frogs and Faerun.
Yes.
D&D.
We need to finish that.
Yeah.
I think we're actually near the end, aren't we? I remember Tom saying that we were coming to the end of the...
Yeah, well, maybe see what he's wanting to do, but I think it'd be good to get back on doing the an Unlucky Frog thing. But we are going to be getting a new laptop.
Yes.
So we might stream that, or we might just
see how we get on.
Might just do it like ourselves and then recap on here. But it was the Lash of Malak was the story arc.
Yeah, can people still find the recordings?
Yeah, they should be up. The ones
Yeah.
that are there, it was just a series of technical faults, and then the laptop just didn't save the last recording.
This was also right in the middle of the lockdown, so there was unprecedented levels of traffic on the internet pretty much all the time.
Yeah, because nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
Just go
Netflix.
Yeah. Fun times.
I actually heard Netflix were asked by the whatever European Commission oversees stuff like that to reduce their bandwidth during the lockdown. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how rigorously it was being used.
Well, I mean, it's worked out great for them, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've also been playing in an Age of Sigmar Soulbound campaign as well.
We did, yeah, or we still are.
Yeah. So that's a completely new system that came out
during lockdown.
It's fun. I like it. It's quite simple.
I love it because it's set in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever gonna
dislike it.
Yeah. I think anything that allowed me to role play in the mortal realms, I was always gonna like.
Yeah. But I mean, for what it's worth, I do like the system. My criticism of the release is that they didn't release barely any actual pre-written content for it. So
no, there was no adventure modules that came out with the core book, and also the physical release. I think we're not going to see that till like Q4 this year. They were saying now.
So our buddy Scott, who's been running it, has basically had to just write an adventure for it.
He's done a phenomenal job.
Oh, it's been great fun.
Fortunately, like he's an Age of Sigmar fanboy like myself, so he does have a lot of knowledge of the lore and the setting.
Yeah.
Whether or not we would still be as enthusiastic about it if we didn't between us know as much about Age of Sigmar, I'm not sure.
Because I would say I've got, like, while I'm not as well versed in the lore as you are, I still have like fundamental knowledge of what all the factions are and their place in the world. I'm playing a Caradron Overlord, so I've got like a proper jetpack steampunk dwarf with machine guns, so that's quite fun to play.
And you're basically a ranged damage dealer.
Oh yeah.
I'm playing a Fireslayer Runesmiter, so I'm basically like a dwarf cleric for the war god, the dwarf god of war Grimnir. And Tom's playing a Stormcast Eternal, so totally not Space Marine.
Yeah, definitely.
They are very different in many ways. As much as people do make that comparison, there are quite a lot of differences. And then Joe, who's been joining us for this, he's playing a Dark Elf Sorceress.
Yes. Yeah. So magic-y stuff.
And we've got a name for a party now.
We do, yeah. What is it again?
we are the Watchers of the Eye.
There we go. Ooh. Yeah. So the last session we were playing just the other night there was kind of playing out. There's been a murder.
There's been a murder.
Thank you. I can't do the accent, so. So it was basically playing out a bit like CSI Age of Sigmar, which I thoroughly enjoy. So
we do enjoy a bit of investigation. You're obsessed with it, Charlotte. Investigation.
That's my favourite type of thing. Problem solving. I like problem solving.
I was during lockdown trying to clear out some of our board games.
Okay.
And I almost got stabbed in the neck when I suggested getting rid of some of the investigation games.
No.
Well, you should know better, Ben.
I know. I was a fool.
I just like games that get you thinking.
Specifically investigation, I think. That's true.
You'd love Call of Cthulhu.
I know.
Is that the bulk of that is investigation, and it's like you're trying to avoid combat at all costs because wherever you're fighting, it's probably going to murder you.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like my type of game.
Will we talk a little bit about online conventions?
Yes.
There's a big one that's coming up this weekend.
Happening right now is UK Games Expo online.
Virtually Expo.
Virtually Expo is the official title, is it?
Little pun there. for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on all of the news and the content that comes out from it, and we'll cover that all off in next week's episode.
A lot of friends of the show in there.
Yeah.
Crafton Jones, Sally She's in there, Mark McKinnon, Rick and Ruin fame. I think the Polyhedron Collider guys are going to be playing a couple of games with some of the companies there.
Hall or Nothing doing anything
Hall
for
or Nothing, I think, are doing a couple of bits and pieces. I think Bez will be doing something as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're at a loose end this weekend, get along and support that.
So yeah, we'll bring you all coverage of that next week. In terms of other online conventions, though, you already mentioned AlbaCon is happening in October.
Yep.
So online RPG convention being ran by David Wright, who normally runs Tabletop Scotland. So we'll be taking part in that. Well, I'm planning on taking part in some games. I don't know about you guys.
It will depend on how manic everything is.
Yes.
For us. So
moving house, eh?
Moving house, working from home, and
having a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm. And occasionally me to look after as well.
I don't know who's more work, to be honest.
I talk back.
I'm not sure who eats more either as well.
But the good thing is we can just leave you with Nathaniel and the two of you just sort of like
we do this game. We do this game where we slap the table. Basically, I'm not joking. It amuses me for hours. So AlbaCon will be happening in October as well, and we'll bring you coverage of that at the time.
And there's probably going to be more, I imagine, going forward. I don't think there's been any sign of. I know there was an announcement from Aircon that there won't be an Aircon 2021 because the centre's still going to be a Nightingale.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I think they're looking at alternatives for doing stuff, and I imagine there will be more, even some of the smaller conventions.
Well, Glasgow Games Festival, which we normally like to go to.
I don't think it'll be
I don't think that will be happening.
I don't think it should be happening.
No.
It's been the thing I've missed the most.
The convention calendar.
I mean, my family as well.
Yeah.
But
close second.
No, but like genuinely, like highlights of my year are typically like going to these conventions.
Yeah.
Like I love going to the UK Games Expo.
It's not even the conventions. It's things like going down to Warhammer Glasgow on a big release day.
Yeah.
Armies on parade. Like there's no paint competitions
and there's a
either.
But the thing is, there's a load of people that I see through the year. At these conventions, I haven't seen them since last year.
Like
now.
Sally from the Crafton Jones, she messaged me just before we came on the air, and it was I was like, hopefully see you at the next convention,
whenever that's going to be.
That is, because we would normally see her like several times throughout the year.
Yeah.
But just because and she actually said like this weekend it would have been Tabletop Scotland.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know. So, I think in summary, COVID-19 sucks. It's awful. I hate it. Go away.
But be sensible.
And be safe.
Yes, be safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there have been a couple of small outbreaks with the schools reopening up here. And whole classes are having to isolate for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And this is like they've only been back a week.
So
I mean I really don't see any more conventions happening for a little while.
Yeah.
I think possibly even that. I don't think it'll just be Aircon out of the stuff of early next year. Because I was hoping to go to the Iron Skull in February.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that'll be happening.
No. The other thing I've been missing out on, missing in general, is playing Magic the Gathering. Like face to face with people, because I do that almost every week.
But very little interaction actually happens in those games anyway. Right? So.
We just give each other like a cold dead stare as we play.
Is that you just saying that you just miss dominating people? Is that it?
excuse me.
I beg your pardon.
I just want to play this so that I can beat you and swing about.
I just want, someone else to feel worse about themselves and just like feel that serotonin coursing through my veins.
Yeah, I mean, I miss that. Yeah. No, but like in all seriousness, I normally go to Geekaboo in Glasgow on a Sunday to do a draft. That hasn't been happening, but we have been keeping in touch and playing in various different means. Some on like Magic the Gathering's various like online clients, and we've been doing a bit. And this is going to sound mad when I say it, but it does actually work better than you would think it does. Playing Magic the Gathering over webcam.
Sounds kind of dirty already. Cause there was
Why?
There was that whole thing about first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying I never played it. I never did it, so I cannot confirm this. But Uno on Xbox Live.
Okay.
Like back in the day, that had a reputation.
A reputation for what?
Well, not a lot of Uno was played.
So, what? So what was it? Just?
It's just like guys beating off and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No one's got their dick out yet on Magic the Gathering webcam.
Yeah.
Remove the word yet. It should just be ever.
I hope it never will happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance because a lot of these people have been locked up alone for several months now.
I mean, I'm one of those people, and I'm not feeling the need to just
right. Let's just get this over with.
Okay, guys.
Just cut through all that awkwardness.
No, we haven't been doing that. We've actually been playing Magic the Gathering over a webcam, and it works better than you would think, Ben.
Just anyone mentions webcam, you're like, oh, aye, webcam, eh?
People use webcams for legitimate things.
See if you just said on Skype or something, it'd be fine, but it's that.
Well, strictly speaking over Discord, but yeah.
Webcam. Someone mentions that, you think, okay.
I think that says more about you than it does about anyone else.
Maybe.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you. You just love to do the devil's advocate thing, don't you? Just chuck a grenade in there.
I don't know. I think Charlotte has a point, though. Like, anyway, we've that's how we've been playing it. So it's been good.
I just wanted to shoehorn a weird story about Uno in there.
You did.
And that's fair.
I got it in there.
I don't understand because there's no camera element to Xbox Live Uno, right?
No, there used to be.
Oh, okay.
It used to be like on your Xbox, you could have like a little camera.
Jeez, yeah. I mean that's flawed.
And it was Fap Town.
So hold on. How does it? There's surely some sort of etiquette to it.
Well, I think
you can't just rock up to an Uno table and get your genitals out.
I think the etiquette in Uno was that, right, we're not here to play Uno. I think it was that kind of thing.
You seem to know more about it than anyone else, Ben. I'm curious as to how you.
No, well, I just know like what the rumours were. Like, and I did preface this.
Was it just dudes beating off with each other, or like
allegedly? I'm not able to confirm.
Guys, let's get back on topic here. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
Why did they do it through Uno? Why not just like any other webcam client?
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
I just like
people like a bit of risk.
I just connected the dots. Okay.
Moving on.
It was like webcams, beating off, card games, Uno.
Yeah. I've been playing, but the way it's been nice to keep in touch with the guys from Geek.
Yeah.
Is the long and the short of it. And there we are. So,
no one was playing Uno.
There was no Uno to be had. Nor will there be any Uno.
I like Uno. I feel we need to reclaim Uno.
Those guys like Uno as well.
The filthy people on webcam.
Do you think they did it because Uno means one, and when you're masturbating, it's just by yourself? So
I don't know why they did it.
Is that the sort of secret code behind it? I've cracked it.
I don't know how this works. I don't know why it was Uno.
I'm gonna have to cut so much of this episode.
Oh well, this is like Patreon content, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, cool.
Another masturbation conversation with Unlucky Frog. Maybe we could have like a segment, just call it Masturbation Corner.
I don't want to go to Masturbation Corner.
Get in the corner.
No, I don't want it.
Whenever you talk about it, whenever
It's
you
not a
refer,
choice.
whenever you're referring to anything of that nature, I'm just going to put you in masturbation.
Oh, but
corner.
that's like 9 out of 10 of my jokes.
Masturbation corner.
Oh.
Oh. Are we going to end the episode on that? Masturbation Corner. Is that the title of the
Right,
episode?
I've
no,
sent everyone
we
away.
need to bring it back to like actual gaming stuff.
I suppose what I've realised listening to you is I haven't done much gaming over this time, and I'm a bit sad by that.
We need to fix that.
Yeah.
Do you know, we've actually got a pile of games that we need to work through that have been sent to us by some publishers. We need to go back to Little Town.
Little Town.
Yep.
Lifeform.
Yep.
Mhm.
We've got Shadows of Kilforth,
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
the Artemis Project,
Yes.
and I think there's maybe a couple others.
What I did want to play, because it was sitting neatly above the cabinet and talking about investigative games, Holmes and Watson.
Yes.
I would like to play that.
We could play that. We could play that right now.
Right now.
Right now. Let's do it.
Charlotte's making a really excited little face. just now.
Yeah. And on that little note then,
Yeah.
on a much more pleasant, civilised note.
Much more wholesome though.
Yeah. So thanks for listening to us, and it's good to be back.
Yep.
And we won't keep you waiting as long. We'll be back next week for coverage of UK Games Expo online.
Virtually Expo.
Yeah, there we go.
Virtually Expo and the Warhammer Twitch reveal.
Yep.
As well, so we'll be hopefully we'll have lots of exciting bits and pieces to talk about. In the meantime, if there's anything that you think we should be covering that we've missed, drop us a line.
Yep.
Always happy to hear from our lovely listeners.
Yeah, exactly. Rightio, guys. Well, with that note, thanks for listening and take care. Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.